Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Mm-hmm. All right, I think we're all set. All right. What are we doing today? Dun, 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 dun. Let's reorganize the loot because that's something that's easy. Loot.go. I do need to create special loot items for these 3 biomes, which we don't have yet. Yeah, this will be all in here though. Okay. I feel like I'm going to use this word Scorched Summit everywhere, that I'm going to change the name of it and whatever. I could probably just do one big find and replace for everything. We have to get rid of this. We'll do Scorched Summit. We'll do... Wait, is Scorched Summit a tier 4 biome? Oh no, because I just copied that from here. Okay. All right, we need special biome items. All right, that's Scorched Summit. What's the other one? Sanguine Scars. And then the third one's gonna be the Haunted Biome, Twilight Forest. All right. Let me look at what this is though. Sorry, we're doing a little vibe coding today too. Real weird decision. Okay. It's weird the air would be an int, but I guess that's okay. I think I need like a proper error type. Oops. I really need to get rid of this function. Oh, this is the try. Might fail. Okay, I mean, that's like pretty close, I guess. Why are we exposing this? All right, let's do this. Or hold on. Here's what we'll do. Leave that in there. I really should have copied something different. Okay. Did I not stage it? Oh, maybe I wasn't on the top. That's fine. Okay, hold on. All right. Dun, dun. Okay, back to this. Let's see here. We had this it is weird because I made Twilight Forest as almost like a tier 6 biome. But I think I'd like to squeeze it into tier 5 a little bit more. Maybe like as a harder version of a tier 5 biome. So I'm trying to remember. That's just for this. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Default table tier 5. All right, let's just compare these. Common, tier 0 potion. Wait, what is this used for? Oh, that's just for that one. Okay. Then that's fine. Haunted. Default table tier 5. It's confusing because it's Realm Haunted loot table. Yeah, I guess let's do this. Yeah, we have Twilight Forest, default table. Tier 5. I'm not really sure what I can break out for a common loot table on this. Let's see. Because it's pretty much the default table, tier 5, and then the special rolls. So this is just going to be default table haunted or something like that. We'll just do that. Default table Twilight Forest. That's fine, I guess. Okay. And then this one's just going to be that. So I think each of the tier 5 biomes is going to have its own little biome specific loot table, probably. But right now we have this volcano biome that splits Sanguine Scar and Scorched Summit, which is fine, I think. Okay. I think that's pretty good. All right, let's run this and yeah, we'll have these. It's just this, I'm pretty sure. These are demon loot tables. Monster Crab Gemstone. That's in Scorched, so that's going to be... It's going to be that. All right, this one's going to be Twilight Forest. Normal. And then we need to do it for this one as well. That used to be that, okay. Okay, that should be it. Nope, okay. We have, this was in the Succubus dungeon, so it's going to be, yeah, the Sanguine Scars loot table for these. I mean, really, these should all get added to the base, but I don't have a base for these because these are old files. What's up, Samani? How's it going? Monster Dwarf base. Oh, this will be Scorched Summit loot table. Okay, that should be it. Yeah, welcome. Just doing a little coding this morning. How about you? Been looking for ghost streamers? Well, you found me. Here I am. This is a game I'm making in Golang. Well, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. but it's called Mythfall. You can play it on in your browser. Not an hashtag, not an ad. But if you want to check it out, you're welcome to. It's at mythfall.com. There should be a link somewhere. But it's a little like bullet hell MMO game that I've been building for a while now. I'm working on biome content recently. Do 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 do. Ba-da-ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Do you have netcode as well in Go? Yeah, the whole thing's in Go. The front end's in Go, the back end's in Go. Yeah, you can check out my GitHub if you want to look at the netcode stuff that it's built on, but it's built on WebRTC. The Peon WebRTC package is the one I use, and then I wrote like a little wrapper package around that. And then I have like my little serialization library and stuff like that. You're welcome to look at it. But that said, it's not really like yeah, I can link you, hold on. It's not like I'm making it, like it's not like it's kind of a lot. The problem is if you stand around too long, you just get swarmed. I am worried that this guy shoots too many bullets, but I'm not sure. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I mean the packages are mostly for me. You're welcome to look at them and you're welcome to use them. But it's not like I'm not trying to like shield my open source project, if that makes sense. Like I'm not really like looking to support a bunch of people, so I don't really advertise it too much, other than people who are interested in it. I feel like these guys need to have some special drop. Like a shard or something like that. And then make them rarer. All right. So this, I think this did all the loot, didn't it? Oh, except for we need to add the items. Let me just note that down. But the loot has been reorganized. Yeah, we should do special loot. I might make the gemstone crab drop shards as well. Okay, so we have, oh, I wanted to redo Twilight Forest mobs, but we were mostly doing this one. I added all the monsters. I already checked the boxes, I mean. Massive gears turning in the background, steam, vents hissing. The ground is metal, grating over lava flows. I'll leave that as not done. That I'm gonna check. This is a cool idea, I think. I might just put this in another, I'm gonna put it in my fun ideas list. Okay. This one I was thinking of doing, well, hold on. This one I was thinking of going more, is this a VS Code extension? What? Oh, no, this is Obsidian. This is Obsidian, and there's a plugin called Kanban that lets you do this. It's pretty nice. It just lets you manage your project and like drag stuff around and stuff like that. So it just like keeps my list of things. I have like different boards and groups of cards. So I group them by like kind of topic in here. This is like my input queue. And then this is my like actively, these are the stuff I'm trying to do. And then I'll usually add stuff here and then I'll move it over here if it's like I don't really need conveyor belt floors right now, but it's, I don't want to forget it, the idea, if that makes sense. So that this ends up being a bunch of stuff. And also people will give me feedback on things, and I'll put it in here as well. Where is it? I don't know. And obviously you got to throw your bugs somewhere, so may as well put them in the back, the page that you don't look at very often. So. I added more tree variations. Oh yeah, headstones. So we have decorations for Twilight Forest. We have the special loot we have to do. I do want to redo these fights because they're terrible. Or I need to add more mobs as well. We have those little assassin guys too. And then Crimson Crags, I was thinking of doing, maybe I do this in Twilight Forest though. I was thinking of doing like a new tile type that when you walk on it, it causes you to be confused. But it's like a liquid, so you fall into it. But I'm not sure. I was gonna make it like a purple bubbly thing, kind of like lava, but purple. I also want to retheme this a little bit more. This is like a demon sort of biome. This was the dwarf biome. That one's pretty good, I think, now. This one needs work, and then this one needs a lot of work. Well, not a lot of work, but I kind of want to work on this one, though. Sorry, I'm vibe coding on the side. Just for like fun. So I have this little AI going, building a programming language. Okay, it did that stuff. Okay, perfect. What's next on my list? Or I should at least run this to make sure it didn't mess up. Yeah, I want to go look at what I want to see what it currently looks like. I might need to open up I might need to do a little bit of concept art here. Hold on. First streamer I found on Twitch to do streaming around Golang. That's me. Yep, welcome, Rahul. I make video games in Go, so this is my video game that I am making. It feels too much of the same stuff. I wonder if I do something like this where there's headstones and then maybe some sort of tile thing like this or something like that. I don't know. Is it open source? No, but some of my stuff is. I just posted a link to my GitHub if you're curious. I make some packages open source, but the game isn't open source. But like my rendering library is open source, my ECS library is open source, my networking code is open source. Like my networking libraries are open source. And you're welcome to use it if you want. But the game, like the game stuff, the art stuff, the game loop stuff isn't open source. Because I'm trying to sell it, so. Bum, bum, bum. I want to make this stump. I need to make it not a tile blocker. Prefabs objects, stump. Does object asset? Object asset. The problem is I have these helper functions to register my assets, and I don't know. Base object. What does this get? Decal base. I want it to be on the like visually on the object layer, but I don't want it to have a collider. Yeah, and I think that this is base object, static, default shadow, sprite data, structure collider, tile collider. Yeah, so this is the same thing. It just doesn't have a collider. So that means I want to use object asset. Oh, this one's different because I pass in the base. I might do a little refactor here. I'm pretty sure this I can just do that. Yeah, because here I just do that. Okay. Base. Where do I use this? Oh, base here. Register prefab. Oh, this is old. I'm like looking at 2 pieces of code. So that's a dead code. And then you would take the base. So the question is, does every single time do I call tall object asset? Do I just use tree base? Yeah, I think I do just use tree base. So I'm just gonna use that as like the base for it, and then remove this field for every single from the function call just to simplify it. Because I have this feature on the end of these where I can pass in additional components to every object. So I can adjust them that way. All right, let's do that. So we can just do that. We'll just do tree base, and then we'll just go through here and this is mostly just for like templating. There's a few more. I guess pretty much just setting up like these prefabricated objects that I can just drop in the game through like procedural generation mostly, or through the editor. I don't know a lot about Golang, but wouldn't it be better to have an object for prefab than not use the prefab prefix for each of the variables? You just write prefab cactus. Oh, no. You're 100% right. The problem is I had kind of like this unified packaging system, and then I ended up moving all of this stuff into a prefabs package. So I just haven't gone back through and done like an LSP rename for every single one of these. But yeah, right now it like stutters a bit because I have to do prefabs dot prefab tree, where it's like this should just be prefabs like tree 0. I should be able to reference it that way. But right now I have to do this. If that makes sense. So you have to like write prefab twice, which is a little bit annoying. It's just like one of those cleanup things I haven't done yet. But it's like it's like one of those things I want to do. I want to do all at once, you know? So it's just a big renaming just because of like a migration that I did. But yeah, no, you're right. You are right. Okay, this is better. That's better. I don't know why that changed. Your ECS runs on the client or the server. The ECS runs on both. It's like the ECS is just the like data organization layer for the game. So everything's an entity, which is just like an identifier ID. It's like an int 64 or something to look up the entity in some like database table. And then so on the server it runs and on the client it runs, because they both have to simulate what the game's doing, like where bullets are, what the player's doing, what items they have, all that stuff has to be stored on both sides. So thank you, Humanizer, for the follow. Appreciate it, man. Are you still using your custom ECS solution, or are you using a library now? No, I'm using mine that I wrote. But I mean, it does everything that I need, so I can't complain too much. Like I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Are you streaming on YouTube as well? Yeah, I stream on both. Hence the hence me answering questions that you don't see. All right. This all started because I wanted to make sure I could run through stumps. And now we can. Perfect. But these ones are still blockable. The Flex ECS seems really cool, but I guess if you have something that does all you need, there's no need to change it. Yeah, the problem is I can't build my game for WebAssembly and use Cgo, and I'd have to use Cgo to use Flex. So I'm kind of stuck using, like you can't cross compile to web using Cgo, so I'm a little bit limited in that sense. But yeah, I think Flex is probably the one I resemble the most. Flex or Bevy are kind of like my ECS inspirations. So maybe more so Bevy, but I've read a lot of the Flex art. I've probably read every single Flex article that the guy's written. So I do like his, like he's like the most, I feel like his is the most advanced ECS in terms of like ideas and stuff like that. So I use his as like the basis for a lot of my logic. Yeah, the Flex articles are really good. He seems to like want to apply ECS to every single thing, which I don't know if I really agree with that sort of strategy. I kind of get it, but I think a lot of problems aren't really solved with an ECS. But yeah, his articles are good. There's also the, what is it, like, it's like Skipjack or something like that. Yeah. These ones are also pretty good. This is the ENTT ECS. Sorry. Too many windows. Where am I? Okay. I mean, I don't think the decorations look bad. It just looks a little bit trashed. Let's try to do headstones. Procedural decorations is kind of tricky. I could reuse the player headstones. When players die, I drop a headstone, so I could reuse those. Or at least maybe I'll reuse the base. What, a grave? I guess I could just use the art. I mean, I just use this one. Grave 2. And Grave 0. Yeah, let's throw them in and just see how it looks. And if I want to change how they look, just so they differentiate, maybe I'll make them darker or something. I might do that. I'll throw in the decals area. I know I have some kind of. Oh, I just realized that there's also necromancers. There's also necromancer's garden dungeon. Yeah, maybe I'll Maybe a new, I don't know. I just want to track that I know that it's in this biome. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, I probably have a prefab for this. The problem is the prefab's probably for... Yeah, I have grave prefabs. But I think these are specially set up to like... Yeah, I add like death timers to them so they despawn after time. So I'll just make a regular decal for this. This is in prefabs. Player prefab grave 0. I think that's pretty good naming. Okay. Or not the prefab part, but player grave. I want to differentiate it. I'll have some that are called like grave. I want to use this one object asset. What did I say? Grave 0 and grave 2 were the ones I liked. 0, 1, 2, yeah. All right, let's add that to the decorations for I guess I could just throw it in here. Grave 0, grave 2. All right, let's see how that looks. Oops. Need a new asset ID. I hate when I don't drink my coffee fast enough and it gets cold. And the bottom of my coffee cup's like always a little bit cold. Actually, that doesn't look bad, honestly. There's a little bit too many of them, I think. Boom, boom. I feel like he went like they like go too low. Like, that seems too low. The float animation is a little bit too low. I think there's too many bones. I think I want more like a bone pile rather than like scattered bones. So I might change the clustering for that to be a smaller circle. We'll do bone pile. Minimum cluster object distance. Yeah, we'll make this a 0. Oh, we already skipped placement check. Okay. Cluster radius range. Cluster size. That's the number I think of. I should change. That's such a bad name because it makes me think it's the like radius of the cluster. we'll do 20 objects and we'll do a range of like 20 to 40 maybe. Do you go in your day job? I quit my job, so I do this full time now. Bum, 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 bum. But before this, I did mostly Java. Thank you. Yeah. I was doing mostly Java, like web dev stuff. I might make it a little larger. Maybe I'll increase the minimum. We'll do 30 to 60. I did Java in a previous life. Yeah. I don't recommend it. Java's pretty meh. I don't know. I hate to talk crap, but game dev stuff looks chill. Maybe I should go into it more. I'm currently a web dev for work, but maybe on the weekends. I think it's fun. If you do get into it, one thing I highly, highly recommend is make everything as hot reloadable as possible. It is so nice to never have to relaunch your game. I've been able to do it in a lot of spots, but in some spots I haven't. Like for example, the procedural generation stuff, it's hard to like have it regenerate the map whenever I change a number, you know? So like that stuff, I have to reload the whole game. Yeah, but hot reloading, yeah, it's a must for game dev as well. Yeah. And I don't mean like air style hot reloading or like relaunching the web app, like the backend. I mean like don't let the application close. Like for example, when you do UI layouts and stuff like that, it's so nice to just change your code and have that like, make this taller, make this a little bit wider, so you can just like iterate really quickly. But the game has to be running the entire time, so you have to have like some sort of hot code reloading feature in your program. Or you have to push everything off to like settings files, which I don't really like to do, but. Boom. Boom. I mean, this doesn't look bad, honestly. This looks okay. That's a good idea for the backend at work. Oh yeah. I guess I don't know what you mean when you say web dev. Do you mean like front end stuff? I have to reload every time I change something on an endpoint. Yeah, there's tools called there's a tool called Air. Full stack, gotcha. Yeah. There's a tool called Air in Go, which lets you hot reload. I know like JavaScript lets you, or like Node.js probably has some sort of hot reload feature. Yeah, and Go for hot reloading, you just fall back to C, go and reload the lib every time or what? Go has a plugin. This is what I do. Go has a thing called plugins that you can build, and it's really, really hacky. It's like not really a full thought out solution, but it's basically like a dynamic library. So you build part of your code base as a dynamic library, and then you can load it as a plugin. Look up symbols and then like update your systems based off of those, like based off of what the plugin has. So essentially what I do is I have this like little section of my code, which is like a single plugin. And if I ever edit anything in here, it reloads it all. So I make like an edit. It reloads it into like a, do they put it, is it like a dot? I think they put it into a .so file, like when you rebuild your plugin. And then I have this little section in my main application, which, so this has all the data. And then I have this little, this like single little process kind of, not really a full process, like an application process. I don't mean that. I mean like a small Go routine or loop that's running constantly, which is looking for this to get updated. And then it reloads it. And then this has some like entry point in it. And that's what gets called. And this ends up reaching back and saying like, update this. And mostly this update is just like, hey, use this system instead of the old one. So it kind of just overrides the systems that are running. Because games are basically, you have data. And then you have systems. and the data just like lives there. And the systems you can hot reload, the data you can't really hot reload, because like if you change the layout of a struct or something like that, the data is just going to be corrupted in memory. So you can replace function pointers essentially, but you can't really replace data layouts. And basically this has to run like 60 hertz or whatever. But this is your game loop that's running, and it's just constantly running. So it's pretty easy to just like stop, reload all the systems, and then keep running. So it's a little bit of like a data modeling problem, but yeah, you basically build a dynamic library and then you link it. So the overhead is just a single pointer. That makes sense. Yeah, it's pretty much like when it gets detected, I rebuild my system list, which isn't too heavy a weight of a process. But the thing that takes the longest is having Go rebuild this. Like, because Go has to rebuild this plugin whenever you edit it. So I have this one big package that has to get rebuilt, which takes a little bit of time. That's the thing that takes the longest. No, I don't use any front-end frameworks for hot reloading. It's all just the Go plugin system. I have what I do. It's in GitHub if you guys want. I don't like super highly recommend it, but Go, I mean, the problem is just Go isn't really set up to do hot reloading super well. But I do this essentially. If you look at this, there's like one file in here. Sorry, I don't have any bots. I have no commands. What's up, Mari? How's it going? Oh, nice. Welcome. I'm guessing Go has better build times though, maybe, or no? I'm torn. I mean, it's better than like really poorly written C++, but it's not, and it's better than like Java, but it's not like super fast. Go is surprised. Like, Go, like, I don't know. Some things I'm like baffled by how long it takes to compile. I think if you organize your packages well, your builds can be pretty fast, but I didn't really do a good job with it. Games are tough because everything's so intertwined. Yeah, it's definitely better than Rust for sure. But do you generate a WebAssembly file during hot reload? So for the browser version of the game, you can't hot reload it because it's in the browser. You have to recompile the entire binary and then refresh the page. But for the desktop version, you can hot reload stuff because you just dynamically reopen a new, you just dynamically reopen that DLL and like update your system list essentially. What's up, Jomi? How you doing, buddy? Thank you, Problematic, for the follow. Appreciate it, man. Welcome. We are updating this biome. I just added these new gravestone decorations that are scattered about. And I made the little bone clusters a little bit more like a pile rather than a scattered mess. How'd you learn about optimizing build times? I need it for work. Super long build times for Go or for other languages. This is my new idea about how I like to organize stuff. And this might be like super game specific. So I don't know how much it applies for, like general like web dev stuff, you know, but for games at least, I like doing this. I like putting all of my data into a package, and then I like having other packages. Sorry. And then I like putting all of my functions into other packages, and the functions just operate on data. And I might have some like small like helpers inside of here, right? And when I talk about this, I'm talking about like application type development. I'm not talking about like building a library for like a linked list or something. Because if you're making a linked list library, you should have some like function API or package level API that people use, right? But for when you have an application, you have a lot of things that need to know about other things and it's not super clear. This just seems to be like a really, at maybe like a sub module level or like a, what's the word? Yeah, like a higher level system level of an application, right? You end up having data, and data only depends on other data. And data never depends on function definitions, right? So data just depends on other data, and it never depends on functions. Functions depend on other functions, and they can depend on data. So I think as like at like a systemic level, you've got like, man, what's the word for this? There's a word that's like what I'm looking for, but I can't think of it now. Anyways, I always end up having functions that I organize by like a package. In Go, it's called a package, but you could think of it like a module or something like that. And functions like almost always need to know about data. So it's mostly a question of like, where do you split functions into different packages and where do you split data into different packages? And I tend to lean more towards putting all of my data into one single package and then having the function stuff rebuild. Because what ends up happening is if you change data, you end up having to rebuild functions because the memory layout's different. Functions have to, like, they necessarily have to rebuild, right? But when you change functions, one function in one package, you don't want to have to rebuild every single other package because this is a long list of, like, this is something that builds really quickly. This is something that builds really slowly. And this is something that doesn't change super frequently. And this is something that changes very frequently, right? Like you might rewrite a function way more often than you're going to redefine how your data layout looks for some specific feature. So, I mean, it's mostly a question of that. But I try to think of it like this mostly. It's like I have data on one side and I have functions on the other. And that's improved my build times a lot. Sorry, that was a long explanation. Like project for data and then another for API definitions, then hot module, reload the API project. Yeah, kind of, I guess. It's just nice to like, it's just the fact that that structs never depend on functions. And I think once you realize that, it's like, okay, like I'm never going to have like something in this package depending on something in this package. So this is like very minimal functions and struct definitions essentially. Like helper functions that you'd throw on something like as a method or something like that. But then you have really complicated things. And these always depend on data, but they never and they depend on each other sometimes. And you might get some like import cycles that happen. Like because you're trying to reduce import cycles essentially. Because if you have an import cycle, the compiler has to bundle it all together and then compile it all at once. But if you're able to remove your import cycles, you end up with just your tree of like things that compile, right? And when you change something at very far down here, it doesn't need to recompile everything at the root. It just has to recompile this one section. Or you change something at this point, all it's got to do is recompile this one segment. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm feeling very schizophrenic about it right now. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's like layered. I mean, things always end up being a little bit of layers, but for the desktop version, what are you using as a render or windowing lib? I use OpenGL 3 point something, and then I use GLFW for windowing 3 point something. I use like the standard one that everyone uses, probably. I think I saw AimScripten having their own DL open, so maybe it's possible to hot reload there. Oh yeah, it could be. Yeah, you probably build like a WebAssembly module and then reload it that way. I don't use EMScripten because I'm using Golang, so I can't really, but that'd be a cool thing to investigate. How long is your build time? It just depends. Like the cached build is pretty fast, but like there's just so much that has to build sometimes. But I could change a piece of data if you guys are curious. Let's go change something in the highest level data. I call it base. This is like things that are super fundamental to the game. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something that's like kind of substantial. Hold on, let me just stage this stuff before I start messing with things. Well, it's like, we'll change this and we'll run it. This is gonna cause like everything to rebuild. Maybe I should have timed it, but you guys got to see at least. This is just the this is like building the assets part of the game, which usually everything's very cached, so it builds really quickly. Like it's still like it's just rebuilding. Every single thing has to rebuild now because I've changed some fundamental piece, right? Yeah, I mean you can see like then okay, this is finished now. Oh, I've got the wrong. Oh, this has the wrong name. Okay, I'll have to fix that. It's good we chested this so I could see this error. But yeah, now it's building the, what is this? This is the backend applications because I have a server, I have a proxy, and then I have an API server. So you can just see it's like, oh, it's a lot of rebuilding. A lot of packages have to be rebuilt. I'll stop it here because it is a lot. But we can fix this. I'm gonna actually fix the other spot that it's in. It's gonna be in, oh, it might have seen that I went back to a common cached version of the build and it just used that, I guess. Maybe because I exited early, I don't know. But yeah, it built really fast there. I'm gonna rename, oh, I can't rename this, can I? What's the biggest advantage of Golang? I think it's simplicity. Go is a very simple language. So it's super easy to learn and super easy to get started in. But it's also kind of a weakness in some ways. But I think it's mostly just a trade-off. I'll call this player grave prefab, and then I'm just gonna change how this gets named in the asset list. Hold on, let me just double check. I just wanna make sure I'm not doing something stupid here. It's been a while since I've had to mess with this. Base name. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, the nice thing about Golang is there's not a lot of like advanced stuff you can do. So you end up having to do simple stuff. But then if you ever have to do something advanced, it ends up being kind of a pain. It's also its weakness. Yeah, you're probably right. There's a lot of times when I'm optimizing like ridiculous stuff. And it's not like it's built, Go isn't built to like help you optimize like memory allocations very much. So you end up just having to like do weird stuff like you have some buffer pool somewhere, or you have some, like you pass some array down from really high up just so you can cache that array data someplace. So, did you actually hit any performance issues on web using Go? And hi, what's up, Moonstroid? The biggest problem with Go on web is that Go is a stop the world GC, and on browsers you have a single thread to do everything in. So on desktop, the GC can mostly, there's different phases of the GC. One of the phases is mark and sweep, and one of the phases is, I can't remember, but one of them they can run concurrently, and one of them they have to stop everything so that they can clear out all of the, or maybe it's mark and then sweep is the other phase. I'm not super knowledgeable on GCs, to be honest, but one portion of the GC can run concurrently, but in the web, it can't run concurrently because there's only a single thread. So the biggest problem on web is like having too many allocations. As you can see, like my allocations are pretty low. Like it's still at 193. Now it just went to 194. So it's like a couple seconds per megabyte. Do you ever regret making it for the web? No, I'm happy that it's a web game. Or that it can also work on the web. I think web games are cool. I don't know. I kind of miss those days of just being able to go to a web page and like play a video game. Now everything's like download my launcher and like download my other thing, you know? What's up, Jen? Yeah, the biggest problem on web is just the single threaded nature of it and the fact that the GC pairs really poorly with that. So yeah, I always liked web games. I used to love, like, that's how I found RuneScape when I was a kid on addictinggames.com. You just like would log in. It was super unsecure, but have you tried the new green tea GC yet? I don't think so. What's it? Is it in 1.25? Unless this version, which I probably have one of the newer versions, but unless this version has green tea on by default, I have not tried it. I don't recall having any lags or stutters when playing Mythfall. Yeah, like the problem is because I've spent so much time optimizing my memory allocations, it's not a problem, but I've just had to spend a lot of time optimizing that so that it wouldn't stutter. But if you type in /debug, you can see the frame pause or the GC pause. So it's like 0.19 milliseconds, which isn't very much, right? But on web, it's going to be slower because it's in WebAssembly and a browser, so it's all really sandboxed, and the frame locks up for this amount of time. Whereas on desktop, a lot of it's able to run concurrently. Green tea is 1.25. Yeah, I guess I am using it then. Would you recommend always having a debug window like this when developing? Oh yeah, it's super helpful. It's nice to just have a debug mode to like have stuff print out. I thought about making it more like a proper window, but right now I just spit out text onto the screen. But it'd be nice to have something that's movable. But like it's helpful to see like, this is my sprite layout. Here's like the collider for the monsters. Here's the collider for the character. You can just like see stuff show up, right? You can see your frame times. That's not on by default. You have to use a flag. Oh yeah, I'm not using it then. Once it's like stable for people to use, I'll use it probably. I think I maybe messed around with it at some point, but okay. Probably easy to add in ECS as well because you should have add a component for it. Yeah, that's true. ECS is super flexible in that way. You can just like throw something on something and have it like adopt this whole new behavior set from it. Like if you want a projectile to orbit, you just like add an orbiter component to a projectile and then it suddenly starts orbiting something, you know? It's production ready and already in use at Google, so we encourage you to try it out. We know some workloads don't benefit from it as much or even at all, so your feedback is crucial to helping us. Wait, do I have to, what do I have to set to do it? How to enable. Give me my AI summary. Do you see Go then to talk to OpenGL windowing system? Yeah, I use the regular OpenGL and GLFW bindings. Go experiment green tea GC. Wait, let's see what I do. Test Linux. I guess I'll just do it in run. Wait, where do I build this though? Oh, it's in binaries. Oh, it's in test client Linux. Sorry, my build process is a nightmare. Okay, what is it? Is this right? Go experiment equals green tea GC. The problem is I have like no baseline here, so I don't know how much this is gonna matter. I know someone reported his application from Go to Odin because apparently the Go web interop is a bit slowish, getting rid of GC. Yeah, I mean like I was saying, the big problem is having what an ungodly hierarchy of make and bash. Yeah, it's pretty nasty. The big problem with web is you have a single thread, so the garbage collector doesn't pair well with that. But I think Odin's a fine language. It's very Go-like. But it is nice to be able to just dereference something or take the address of something and like automatically it's heap allocated for me. I don't really have to think about it. That said though, there are a lot of cases when you need to optimize something and it makes it really painful. Yeah, see, like I just don't know. Like I'm not really even sure what to look at. Is like the GC pause time gonna be like less or something, or that's 0.08, but it hasn't run very far, so I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I like if I really want to prove it's like helping, then I need to like baseline something, and I've not done anything in Odin before. I've maybe installed it, but I don't think I've ever written an Odin program. I've read the docs a lot, but I've never written any code in. I was just curious how it worked. The one thing about Odin that I'm not sure I care for is the fact that there's no methods. So I don't know. Like Odin's methods are such a nice ergonomic feature to have. So I don't really understand the I don't know, maybe this is better. I'm not sure. The pause does seem lower, but it's hard to say. You can have procedure pointers and structs. Yeah, but then I'm like polluting my, or maybe I don't understand how they work, but does it expand my struct? Like, does the struct actually have to hold a pointer? I don't really want a function pointer. I just want like a call syntax. Like I don't want it to dynamically look up the function at runtime. I want it to know what function it's supposed to be and just use that one. Is it similar how traits work in Rust? Rust is something they don't make your object fatter. Oh, if it's that, then it's pretty much methods. Is it dynamic lookup? Do they have to dynamically look it up though? Because when it's like a function pointer, I always think, oh, it's got to dereference the pointer to find the function, and then it's got to run it. So I have to imagine they have to know that somewhere. It's all compile time in Rust. Oh. Oh, is it compile time in Odin as well or something? Unless you make a dynamic trait. I see. Okay. Sorry, I just don't know Rust at all. Yeah, I mean, it could be. Wait, so then it has... Personally, I use all static monomorphization. Yeah, I would prefer everything to just be monomorphized, I feel like. So then Odin essentially does have methods. I guess I'm confused then, because I feel like I read somewhere it didn't. Like I was 100% sure. I guess I'll look. Maybe I just misunderstood it. Maybe I misread it. Does Odin have methods? Or where is their documentation? Is this it? Oh, maybe this is, yeah. Overview? Method. In Odin, a procedure is something that can do work, which some languages call functions or method. Okay. That I know. Object is class. Okay. I'm just not sure like what to Google. Like it sounds like a method. I guess I'm not. I'm just confused on like what's the difference between a method and what you're describing, which is like a statically dispatched like function pointer field that doesn't expand the struct at all. So you have a function which can take in a generic. It will compile that function for each type that is passed to the function, if that makes sense. Yeah. If it's C-style, then you pass this as a parameter instead of a class method. Yeah, I'm just confused on, I'm confused on two things. One is like, what's the, maybe I just need to read this. Maybe this person on Reddit knows. Like, what's the memory layout gonna be? If I put a function pointer in my struct, it must have a pointer in the struct, I feel like. I don't want opinions. I just want to know how this works. I don't know. I just don't know I don't know what to look for in this. Maybe we can look for a method. Subtype polymorphism is possible through the use of using, but Odin does not offer methods. But not implicit methods. We believe that data and code should be separate concept. Data should not have behavior, use a procedure. Yeah, I'm just curious what... Like, I just want the desugaring part, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, I just want it to be like a simple... Odin doesn't have methods, right? But then if you put a function pointer in a struct, it's going to expand your struct to be larger. But maybe there's some compiler magic or wizardry that they're able to do nowadays. I don't know. Yes, it will. Okay. Yeah, I mean, the problem is I've never written Odin, so I have no idea. I do remember reading this at one point. I don't remember what it said though. I don't know. That was the one thing that I wasn't 100% sure sold on for Odin, to be honest. Not that I think Odin's bad, just that it will make it larger. Yeah, okay. I kind of I do use Odin daily almost. Oh, really? Yeah, so there's no like method call syntax. That's my understanding. Is that right? Like if you want a method call syntax, you have to have a function pointer in your struct. I'm curious to hear, since you use Odin a lot, I'm curious, do you feel like you have this operator, the arrow? Oh, that's for the function pointer call, or the procedure pointer syntax? I'm curious, do you feel like not having methods is a big pain? Like, does it make it hard to like organize your functions and stuff inside of like some package? Because like almost everything else about Odin I think is really interesting and really cool. Not really, okay. You don't miss it, all right, interesting. Compile time of Odin is a lot slower than Golang because of the LLVM backend. I have heard LLVM is very slow. I've always wondered how the package system is great. Never felt the need for methods in Odin. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It just seemed like I use methods so much for little helper things, and it feels so convenient. The thing is that you just don't know. Like you just don't know if it's gonna be a pain or not until like I go and write a bunch of code in Odin. So it's a big it's like a big investment to discover if I like something or not. I don't know. know if that makes sense. But I do think Odin's a super cool language. I really like the idea of the implicit context that passes around. Because I was looking at Zig. I wrote a little bit of Zig, but I feel like passing the allocator everywhere just seems really painful. And some of the ergonomics of Zig seemed a little bit like harder to deal with, if that makes sense. Boom, boom. I'm surprised more languages don't. Maybe there's a good reason for this. I'm surprised more languages don't just compile to C, like transpile. Maybe some do. I know, or I know that some do. Like I think Hacks and maybe I just had the name for it. Hacks and one other that I can think of. Compile to C or transpile to C, I should say. Then you can use a C compiler to compile to anywhere. I think it's nice once you get to know it. I prefer not having methods personally. I don't like having to think of something should be a method or a function. Using Odin, I just directly do a function. Nim, that was the one I was thinking of. VLang, I'm not familiar with. Zig's just really unstable. I'm really interested to understand how the async stuff works in Zig. Odin seems like a hype language without serious use yet. Rust was in the beginning. Well, I know they use it for the business, whatever their rendering framework thing is. Yeah, Zig is a little bit too verbose for me as well. It's like I don't need like this level of control. I just want a little bit more control than Go. Like that's like all I want. Just a little bit more control than Go. Yeah, verbose can be good for sure. But anyways, what is next? We did headstones. I was thinking of making something that glows, but I'm not sure. Oh, thanks, Alex. It is coming along. Oh, let's add these new mobs. I drew them. We'll add these two guys to Twilight Forest. You guys get to watch my animation process now. I'm gonna copy this guy. I'm not really sure what to call him though. Dark. I also wanted to add this guy and then maybe a bat. I want to write those down before I forget. Okay. I'm kind of confused on why that's lining up differently. Oh, he's just slid to the right a little bit. That's okay. What's up, Dracula? How you doing, buddy? She's well. She's super well. Oh gosh. I'll never live this down. Jomi says hello. Ah, shoot, I did the wrong one. Here's what I'll do. Then I'll delete this one. Then I'll copy this again. Dracula says, hi, Jomi. There he is. There he is. One thing I should have done years ago is building a attack animation, like a procedural one. Because golly, I spend so much time. So much time wasted doing that section. Does this go here? Yeah, I think it goes there. Oh no, it's off by one. That's why it looks weird. In my opinion, Odin feels very good to program in because it does not create a lot of frictions. Default values, things mutable by default, etc. Makes it enjoyable to use for me. It creates maybe a little more friction than Go since you have to manually manage memory. You don't have an error interface, so you have to manage errors a bit more. Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. Yeah, I wonder what people do for errors then. No closures too, so you have to pass it explicitly, but it's part of the contract. Since it's a low-level programming language. Yeah, I can't imagine there'd be a way for them to do closures. Just because it's like it'd be an implicit like memory allocation, which would be weird, I feel like. Oh, this is all offset. I'll just slide all of these at the end. I was wondering, I know in Odin, I think there's, oh, thank you Monkey Rock for the follow, appreciate it, man. Oh, thank you Colonel Panic for the follow, appreciate it. Anything can be an error. You just define what should be an error, can be a struct, an enum, etc. Oh, okay. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, I know there's like a there's like your main allocator in the context struct, and then I think there's like a secondary allocator like temp or something, or it's like for scratchpad stuff. I think it's like a ring buffer maybe. Does that overflow? Like, do you ever have that overflow if it's a ring buffer? Oh, it's an arena allocator. So it cleans up at the end of the stack frame or something? Like every stack frame makes a new one or something like that? Or you make a new one manually? Because for some reason I was reading something, I thought it was a ring buffer, and I was like, man, that's got to overflow sometime, then just like ruin everything. Like you use it for string formatting, but your string's like too long or something. Not that it's very common, just that like it's a thing that could happen. Okay. I need to make him taller. Oh no, he's perfect height. I'm not an expert in allocator, but basically you have to clear the temp allocator once and it will clear all the data allocated by it. So usually people use it for video games to clear everything at the end of the frame. It's not related to scope. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I was wondering if it was an arena allocator. Oops. I'm coloring all, which is usually probably okay, but a little worried. Does that work? That works. Okay. This is the death animation. And this will be the attack animation. This is the one that I should really make programmatic, instead of having an explicit frame for it. But it is what it is, so. Yeah, for some reason I read somewhere, it might have been like an AI generated thing too, which lied to me, but I don't know. Or I guess we could Google it. Is the temp allocator in Odin context an arena or a ring buffer? Oh, it's a global arena. Okay, yeah. That's perfect then. Just one arena. I don't know about the overflow thing. Yeah, for some reason I read it was going to be a ring buffer. So then like So like the thing I was reading said that like, oh, as soon as it like gets like you start here, let's say, and you fill up data, and you get to this point, you just start overwriting like your old data. But if it's an arena, then it just keeps like, I think they just add block, like the next block on. It's like this block fills up and it just like starts, like this one's full. And it's like, oh, we need more room. We'll put it in this new block. And they'll just allocate a new block or page or something like that. But the ring buffer one is like a fixed amount of memory. So you end up overwriting your old data, which I thought was like a super ridiculous idea for like a fundamental language feature. Yeah, it just adds blocks. Yeah. No, I think you're right. This seems too light. I want to make him a little darker, I think. Or hold on. I gotta make this one darker. The one thing I don't like is I feel like they end up blending in a little bit more. I just know that arenas are not perfect for every type of allocation. I heard that some kind of arenas can cause allocation to double in size, like for maps, I think. I'm not sure why. How it does a map. Oh, I could maybe see that because an arena allocator is not going to deallocate stuff. Oops. So like if this is your arena allocator and you've got this block and you've got this other block, and like let's say your map is the orange thing, like this is your map right now, and then you like append on the next field, but the map's got to resize, so it's got to grow. The arena allocator is not going to like free this block first. It's going to say like, oh, okay, now we need like to double the size of this map. So it's going to take this block and then it's going to add another block. Because usually these things, when they allocate, they like double their size every time. So if you have like 64 elements in like the array of the backed map, it's going to put like 128 or something. So it ends up allocating like double the size and leaving over. It like leaves this around, like, so this just stays in memory. So every time it doubles, it just like keeps adding on more and more and more. So you've got this one, this is like the new map, and this is the old map, but this one doesn't get deallocated. So I can see over that one, you'd want to like free it, but brute. We'll take the ninja brute. Mob. I kind of don't like that animation. Is this lined up right? Do you know a lot for someone who doesn't, from my perspective, only codes in Go? Where does your knowledge come from? I mean, I did embedded stuff for a while, and I was an electrical engineer, so I did mostly like low level stuff for a lot of my career. And then, but most of this has been because I've gotten super into language design recently over like the last year or something like that. So I just like read a bunch and like looked into a lot of stuff. But the thing is, like, I don't have time to like really like try out stuff that much. But so like I'll read a lot about it, but I won't have time to like actually write a program in Odin. So it's kind of, I'm in like this weird spot where like I kind of know it, but I don't really know it that well. But also I've been doesn't have time to not like you work. Yeah, the board doesn't allow me to experiment at all. It's all just, they're all just cracking the whip. I don't like that animation though. What was I saying? Oh, that looks terrible. That's pretty good. Thank you, Alex, for the follow. Appreciate it, man. Oh, but I've been vibe coding a language on the side recently, which has taught me a lot as well. Thanks, Alex, for the subscription, man. I appreciate it, man. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I've been vibe coding a programming language with like the Google AI. So it's fun to like make the it's fun to like make all the specification decisions, just like see how it turns out. So I've been because of that, I've been having to like look into stuff a little bit more in more depth and think about things a little bit more. Boom, boom. Oh shoot, I deleted too much there. These we can delete. These ones we have to delete just at his hand. Because we need the walk cycle on the feet. Drawing walk cycles is the hardest thing in existence, I swear. So once you have one, just never never do it again. You just need one per size. This is gonna be a tough torso to copy, I think. But I think we'll copy this and then this. Are the feet off? Hold on. Oh yeah, the feet are wrong. I'll just move those down. They're in the right X position, I think, though. Man, it really seems like, what is this? That might just be like the elbow. It might be because I had to redraw his arm to be different. Yeah, it's probably just the arm redraw. Oh, his right hand's getting cut off. We'll go back and fix that though. Whoops. I think it's this one. A little worried these are all going to be wrong. This one's definitely wrong. This one's too high. I think. Oh, now there's that one that looks weird. Let's look at the ninja. Maybe this is just how it goes. Yeah, I mean, it does kind of drop a little bit. Like his legs have to come down. Just looks strange. Dun, 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 dun. That's probably fine. I tend to overanalyze this stuff. Let's watch it. Okay, I like it. All right, let's move the wait a second. There's one more frame. This one had this pixel. All right, let's see. I see one more mess up. Right here needs a block. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna move all of these up by one, and then we'll just trim. I might be able to just do this. Nope. All right, let's see it. Okay, that is a good start. Death animation. And attack animation. Trim it, and we're done. Okay, we got these two characters now. At least we have the art for them. So let's go in and we'll make like actual characters for them. So we'll do Mog, or it's going to be in Twilight Forest. Boom, boom, boom. Also, I might go and redo all of these ghost mobs. They're a little bit too punishing, I think. And they're a little bit too boring as well. I don't know if that makes sense. Like their attacks are kind of weird. All right, we'll just go ahead and copy. I'm just trying to think if this is a haunted health medium, vision, the loot, the drops. I'm gonna remove that. Where am I? All right. I'll just call this monster base. This is just the base components that every monster will get. Then we'll add the bandits, the dark bandits. Bandit, dark. I feel like this is too small of a collider. I'm not sure though. I'm gonna rename that or replace Mob Collider 4 with Mob Collider 8. No, that's too much. We'll do 6. This is a radius. Or I'll commit this. We had this one stage change that we never committed. Added headstone decorations to Twilight. Alright, then we'll work on adding the new mobs. This needs a weapon for his attack, and I'm just gonna redo his entire state machine. That's fine for now. Let's add the brute next. give them new asset IDs. All right. And then I don't remember, do I have a category, a monster category for human or bandit? Oh, I do have bandit. All right. This is just for like task completion. Like sometimes they'll get a task, which is like defeat 5 bandits or something. This one needs a larger collider. We'll do 10. We also want to remove the height function because we don't want them to float. And the sprite is wrong. Bandit, dark. Bandit, dark, brute. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's go to the by the way, for the organization part, you can prefix your functions by the struct name if you want to. The core library do use this pattern. For example, you have functions like builder init, builder make, builder reset that are already a string builder struct. I see what you're saying, yeah. Yeah, at least that like namespaces it kind of to a specific thing. So you know, like it's the one function associated to that. I don't know, it just feels nice. It just seems nice to like have it like automatically namespaced based off of whatever you're working with. I do think it causes people to be a little bit lazy with building functions because you end up with that question of like, what type do I associate this function to? Like, does it go on this or does it go on that? And I think the answer to that question is almost always like, it should just be a function and not a method. But like some stuff, it's like, it's really nice to just have like list.add. So you don't have to do like list add, my list. Here's what I'm adding. But I don't know. I just haven't done it enough. I haven't done it enough without methods to see like how it would feel. I also think that people coming from C will probably just be like, oh, this is exactly what I want. Like they don't want methods. They just want functions. It's a very C thing to do, which is fine. I think languages are cool because they're very, it's just like whatever people like. There's not like a right answer. It's like whatever people like is like that is the right answer. It's like, what do you prefer? And it's usually shorter to write list.add my thing than list add list my thing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's a little bit shorter. It's a little bit more concise, but I mean, it's preferential. Like the thing about software is it's all trade-offs. So, I don't know. Okay, let's build a state machine for this. For the bandits, or for the dagger people, I almost always do like a teleport skill. But I'm wondering if I'm overusing that too much. I don't know. Let's go to Elwood. Is that the? Yeah, we'll take this guy. This guy kind of already has a state machine built for this. So I will steal it. Now I'm just going to use his weapons as well. We'll do it for that one. This guy will just not move yet. I want to add these to the monster list in the sphere. Monsters. Biome type Twilight Forest. Yeah, we'll add the new monsters as well, which is going to be I might try to make one like elite style ghost. So this game is some sort of MMO roguelike mix. Yeah, it's inspired by Realm of the Mad God. But basically it's like a permadeath game. So you go in, I mean, you can kind of see like you run around, or I can show you all the features if you want. I have a little bit of questing. Like there's one quest that you start But I haven't added any more. You start by talking to him. He like walks you through. It's like an extended tutorial. You have a little housing area. Oh, you did play a little bit? Okay, cool. Went to Sandy Shores. Yep. Died. Or did you survive? Also, I'm curious, did you understand how to recall? How to hold R and come back to town? I guess you did if you still survived. Because that's the feedback I get sometimes, is that people don't know how to, okay, good, yeah. Yeah, some people somehow like didn't understand it. I might have to make it a little more clear, but I just think that's a super cool ability, teleporting. The only strange thing is hitbox on large bosses was quite small and it's near the ground. Yeah, for the jumping ones. The problem is the game has no, on the physics side, there's no like height component. So everything's anchored to wherever the shadow is. Like if they jump, you shoot at the bottom, not the character. Yeah, on the physics side, everything's locked to the ground. It's 2D. I guess I could change it. Or what I've thought about doing as well is having if the height gets to a certain height, then have it like you can't hit it because it's like off the ground. But I'm not sure. But yeah, there's a skill tree, right? You can like level up skills. There's also this myth board, and this stuff's gonna get refined. I don't love it, but this you get honor by fighting monsters, and we're extending it. It feels good though, yeah. This you get honor, and you can purchase skills to like level up your character. This stuff lasts permanent, so you'll unlock a new class, and then it'll unlock it in your skill tree. And if you die, you still keep that, and it works across all of your characters. These ones, if you die, you lose your skill. So if I purchase like this, then I die, I'll lose those skills. I'll lose my skill points essentially. And if you die, you lose all of your items, and you lose all of the stats that you might have acquired through playing. But I have thought about making a like a easy mode or something where you maybe don't lose your items and don't lose your stats. Because there's like a leveling up system. You can get to levels up even further past level 10. So I don't know. Okay. All right, let's update the or we never found the brute guy, did we? I'm gonna make sure his art's working. Oops. One thing I don't like is how much they blend in with the background. There's one. Monster type dark brute. Yeah, so for this guy, let's go ahead and make weapons for him rather than use the other weapons from the other biome. Weapon, we'll change the projectile color. I don't exactly know how I'm gonna do this. Like I don't know what this attack will be yet. Because I don't want it to be too like same-ish, but we can get rid of that. And we can get rid of this. Okay, that'll change those. For the brute, I don't really know what his behavior could be. Oh, we could also do an archer character. Like this guy, but with a bow. Sorry, I'm just clearing these so I can kind of see what's going on. All right. That does look kind of cool. But I could also think, I'm also thinking maybe I'll do either have it like squiggle back or have two go at once in different directions. Let's just try two in different we'll just see what it looks like. I don't know. Or hold on, we can comment that out and then we can update this one. Parallel. Is it parallel sequencer? No, it's simultaneous. I don't remember how this works. Yeah, list. This just lets me run two sequencers, which is a sequencer is like a thing that spawns bullets essentially, but it lets me run them simultaneously. So I can I can like overlay attacks. So one I'm gonna have rotate clockwise, and one I'm gonna have rotate counterclockwise. All right, let's see how that looks. So it'll be a lot more bullets. I'm gonna have to reduce the number, but we'll see. That is kind of cool looking. It looks it looks like a little bit demonic though. I almost want to put it in like the demon biome. Like it looks kind of like the star, you know, like the demon star thing? Like the summoning circle star. That's what it kind of looks like to me. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make his primary attack shoot confusion bullets, and then I'm gonna have him teleport to you and do that attack. I think that works. And then I might have to re-sprite the confusion bullet. I'm not sure. We'll see what it looks like. Might do a fan attack. Fan with like 5. The problem is I'm gonna do 3. I'll do 0.1. I might make the duration a lot smaller. Thank you, Oscar, for the follow, man. Appreciate it. Welcome. I might interleave. That's a tough gap. That might be too many bullets. I do like it though, because it's a little bit of like if you get hit by one of these, you lose the ability, or you get confused, which means when you hit up, it goes down, I think. When you hit right, it goes left. Like the controls get reversed. So then he hits you with that, and then he teleports in. But I think the spray attack might be a little bit too... Like it's just that's so narrow. Yeah, that's too many. We'll do, let's cut it to 5. Let's see what 5 looks like. Man, these ghosts. The ghosts are just insane. Their bullets go way too fast and they're way too squiggly. That's way easier to get through. Wait, is it that much easier? Yeah, it's deep. It's less deep. It's still very narrow. I might up the delay to 3. The problem is if you make the delay a little bit too big, then it ends up like separating it visually too much. That looks pretty good though. That was 2 of them. Okay, that's reasonable. We got a ninja mask. Nice. Nice. Okay, I like that. I like that more than that. I kind of want to do something like this though, but for the brood, but like make it like the spray, but bigger. So I actually might copy this. I might make another one that's like very similar. We'll do a slam. I think I'm gonna make the projectiles bigger though. Shoot, what is it like projectile black or something? We'll do projectile colored inverted. No, I don't want to do that one. I want to do the larger, like LG, because I have like fixed sizes that I use. Small, oh yeah, colored large, inverted. This just reverses the colors. And then this is gonna be, oh yeah. Color projectile red. And we'll make this 8. And then we'll make this 5. I think we're gonna have to make it larger. And then we'll make a new ID for that. I'm just gonna give him a single state that shoots a weapon for testing. All right, let's go find one. There's one. Oh, I thought this was like a head. I don't like that. Also, there's no cooldown, so this is happening way too fast. Let's just do 4. Let's do the non-inverted. Maybe the non-inverted will look a little bit better. Yeah, I think the large is really the problem. Let's see what the small projectiles would look like. The contrast is so much. I think I like this. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have him do like 3 jump slam attacks at you. And then yeah, maybe like 3 jump slam attacks, and then he'll stop and do that. Maybe that's like the pattern. So this will be a spiral attack. I don't yet know what the bullet pattern will look like for the jump slam. We'll call this slam though. I mean, a circle is super classic. Whoops, list sequencer. I have no thought. I wonder if there's a way I can shoot things as a square instead of a circle. Like do a circle attack, but as a square. I don't know how the math works for that though. It's like I need to just pick the velocity correctly. Or something like pattern unnamed circle, but unnamed square. Looks like I tried to do it at some point. I just feel like I know I've done this. I feel like I've used this someplace. But maybe I haven't. Let's do the circle first, and then we'll do like, I don't know, 10 of them. I will make these large though. And then I'll do no, I think I'm gonna keep them the same. I'm not gonna do the inverted. Oops, LG. And we also need to add a prepare phase. I know I have like a ground slam somewhere. Like I have these presets. I'm gonna do fast, I think. Nope, that's the wrong one. That's the right one. Whoops, and I copied the wrong one. There we go. So we'll do the fast slam. Let's just see how this looks. You should jump slam and shoot a circle out. But I might try to change it to do a square. I just feel like a square could look kind of cool. The idea is he would be chasing you here, right? He'll like try to slam on you. Or shape. I have this shape setup thing. The problem is I don't have a way to scale the parent object, so I have to add velocities to these. But I could set up a square of like bullets and then just have them have a velocity that's set to the velocity set to the vector of the thing. I guess that's correct, isn't it? Are you using any Go engine or are you building your own engine? I built my own engine. I used OpenGL. Yeah, I use OpenGL for the desktop build, and then I use WebGL for the WebAssembly build. For like running it in a browser. I mean, I could probably use this exact same logic for the square attack. The problem is this doesn't pick a number of... Like I pick a projectile, I pick a radius, and then I pick a orb radius. That's the radius of the square, and this is the distance or the radius between two orbs. So I need another version that does something similar, but with like a fixed number. Let's try to code it. It's mostly building an attack pattern. We'll add the hook here first. We'll make a new type, a new interface implementation. Why is my computer lagging? I don't know. We'll make a new interface. This is gonna be an interface implementation, which will be the unnamed square, kind of like this is an unnamed circle. I like how I wrote like rename, whatever. I think the math's gonna be super similar to this, except for instead of like rotating a vector around in a circle, we'll have to like lay out a square and then scale the speeds like that. Well, does that work? Am I thinking about this right? In my head, I'm thinking, okay, I have a position. I have a position. And what I'll do is lay things out in a square. Like this is the velocity vector. And I'll make this like one length, and I'll make this whatever, like everything else will be scaled down so that this is one length. So I'll normalize it based off of this one. And then as they float out, they should stay in a square, I think, right? Like I'm pretty sure they're gonna stay in a square. I'm not 100% sure, but I guess there's only one way to find out. Do I not have anything that says a square? I guess I tried to do it here. What did I do? Paths, go through it, rotate it. Oh, the problem with this is I lay them out on a circle. It is kind of hard to know. Like if someone says like 13, if someone wants 13, how would I lay it out on a square? Because I need 4 corners. Like I need a way to define the number of projectiles. I have to have corners because that like fits the square. And I just take the count, divide it by 4 or something. So if they put 4, then this would be count of 4. 8 would be like there's one here and one here, and then this one wouldn't be there. So yeah, I'll divide the count by 4, like the projectile count by 4. That gives me a count per side. So if they give me 4, it'll give me a 1. Well, I'll do side plus 2. It's like 2 plus. I guess that kind of works. All right, let's paste this in. Aim. This is the center point, I think. This we'll have to calculate. Self pause. Offset. Yeah, this is if we set that config, that's fine. This is mostly what we need to change. I'm gonna move this down. Yeah, so on a circle, we divide the circle by 2 pi, which gives us like it gives us like this segment. And that helps us lay it out. But for the other one, we can't really do that. We have to do this other method, which was 2 plus count divided by 4. 2 plus base.count. Is the game running still? No, okay, good. Yeah, we'll do this. 2 plus count divided by 4. So that'll give us a 4-sided. Or hold on, am I thinking about this right? Because in my head, I'm thinking now I could just add the 2 to the count, or add 4 to the count. Or wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think I don't include this. And I just hard code the fact that there's always going to be 4 corners. And then this ends up being the inside. So if they give me 4, or I just scale it down. I just say like the count is going to be the amount that you fit in each side. No, I can't do that because some items scale up your count by 1. Yeah, so we'll do this. Count divided by 4. Okay. Do floor of that. We'll just cast that to an integer. The number of orbs per projectiles per side, excluding the corners. All right, let me just walk through logically what we have to do. So we have to lay out the 4 corners at vector length equals 1. Lay out each of the 4 sides with correctly okay, then we need to pick their positions. I scale by vector by the there's a feature in weapons which lets me select how far away the projectiles spawn from the player. I can't remember what it's called. I guess I can just look really quickly. I think it's in projectile base. So there's a lot of fields and projectiles. This is where enumerations would be nice. But start distance. 4, pick their velocities. By speed. Okay, I think that works. So basically what we'll do is this is gonna be the 1 scale. We're gonna pick a vector for every single projectile that we have in a list. And then we need to pick 2 things about it. We pick the start position of every single projectile. Then we pick the velocity that's gonna get. And that's what we need to assign to this projectile path field. And other than that though, I think that's all we have to do. So let's just do these one by one. So this will be, I'm trying to think of how to loop this. Like if I do, I like the easy way is just to say that a square always has 4 sides and just have 4 loops. Bum, 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 bum. Let me see what I do for shape when I lay out shapes. I could also just do the hardcore the four corners and then just do 4 different loops for each edge. I also know, I kind of know statically how big our number of, I guess we do know how big our number of vectors is. So we'll do a vec2 with 0 length and capacity equal to proj count. And proj count is going to be equal to 4 corners plus side count. So this is the number of projectile vectors that we have to calculate. And so we will do the 4 I'm not sure how to pick out the length. Like in my head, I want to say like this is going to be 1, 1, and this is going to be 1, -1. This will be -1, 1. This will be -1, -1. These will be the 4 corners. Also, we have to append. Those will be our 4 corners. Let's just start with that for now. The thing I'm not sure of though is like, technically these have to be normalized, which I can definitely do. It's just super wasteful. Like in my head, I just want to hard code this to the right value. But the tricky thing is once I lay out the insides, like these ones, they need to be scaled to a lower number. What I could do is I could just lay this out on a unit square and then just normalize every single field. Then everything just has to get normalized. But for now, I just want to experiment. So we're going to skip the insides. We're just going to do the corners just to make sure things are kind of working. Okay, then we need to pick their positions and their velocities. That'll just be one loop, I think. So for I, we'll just do V. Loop through all the vectors, and this we do aim, but aim is kind of what V is, isn't it? Aim scaled projectile speed. It's weird though, because I need to normalize them by this length. So I have to normalize them as a separate loop. Or I don't know. But I think this is all. I think I just have to do this. Oh, we need I. Oh, one weird thing is they expect this to be the right length. It'll be smaller. No, it's not going to be smaller, is it? What we'll do is we'll just truncate this. We'll just append. Because I'm pretty sure when this gets passed in, I pass in a, like this is a cached slice so it doesn't have to get reallocated every single frame. This is unused, I guess. Let's see if this works. Why Go? I just like Go. When I was picking languages a while back, I highly valued having some kind of package system, and a lot of languages at the time didn't have those. But I think Go's a good language. It's very simple, very easy to use. Not a lot of things you can get messed up with. And yeah, I don't know. It gets the job done, I guess. There's obviously always some pain points with every language, so Go has its fair share of those. All right, let's go back to that monster we're building. I'm just gonna pass 4 in here. I'll do 10. It's like SQL with a garbage collector, I guess. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more features than just having a garbage collector. Like you have methods, you have the GC, obviously, you've got package systems, you've got like green threads, or not really, or I guess you could call them green threads, yeah. It's got its preemptive runtime. There's a lot of nice little built-in stuff. A really good standard library. But yeah, it's a C-like language, if that's what you mean. I have to register this for serialization. Oops. CSP is the core philosophy for Go. True. Very Rob Pike philosophy. That was like his big thing. We talked about this last stream, but one thing I think Go fumbled on a bit was the channel stuff, the channel syntax. Though I don't really use channels all that much, so I don't see it that often, I guess. But just like the arrow syntax is weird, I think. But I think the arrow syntax is weird everywhere. Like for, I think Rust has, does Rust have arrows for the return types? I think they do. I just don't want to type arrows, I think. I'm just anti-arrow. Rust has arrow returns? Yeah, okay. I think channels are the nicest feature in Go. No, they're a fine feature. Like having a thread safe buffered channel is a perfectly fine feature. Just the syntax for it is kind of, I don't know. Okay, the square is squaring. I know Rust have arrows, but I don't know where to use them. Yeah, I think they use it to declare what the return type is. It's a very like functional type of syntax. All right, we have the start of a square. We just have to fill in the insides now. Yeah, we'll do 10. Okay. All right, we just need to fill this section, this part 2 in. How do I calculate velocity? Aim scaled by the projectile speed. And then position, aim scaled by the start distance. Yeah, actually, that's perfect. Okay. This was kind of the hard part, huh? I guess I'm doing a unit square. So what do you do? If you have one thing, you divide it by 2. You have one thing, you divide something in 2. If you have 2 things, you divide it into 3. Okay. Because you want to find the gaps, the number of gaps. So it's going to be side count plus 1, oops, plus 2, plus 1, divided by, oh wait, hold on. No, it's 2 Right now that's the projectiles per side. Okay. Then it's gaps per side, which is just oh no, sorry. This would be gaps per side. This is the gap size. I usually don't write this many notes. Is the 2 is the number, is the diameter? Is that a thing for squares? Is the width? I'll say is the length of a side. And all right, that'll make sense to me in a year when I read this again. All right, gap size is this. Man, I'm really trying to fit this into like mentally fit it into one loop, but I don't know if I can. I actually might need, oh, proj per side. This is the number of projectiles. I mean, it's like, this is what I'm gonna think I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start at 1, 1. Or let's start at -1, -1. Then we can just add, or we'll call this current, pause. Or no, we'll just do this, current pause. We'll go in the X direction first. Plus equals gap size. Wait. Wait, what is the error here? How is this an int? Huh. The unused right to field. Oh, wow. That's like a very specific lint. That's so weird. I thought for sure if you do 2.0, it forces the literal to be a float. But I guess it's able to do some kind of implicit cast because this is an integer. Whatever. I feel like I've never seen that. Maybe I've just never noticed it and I have a bunch of bugs in my code. Okay. So we'll do this projects, and then this is going to be the current pause. So this is just going to go down one side, but it's going to go from the bottom left to the bottom right. So I'll just do bottom side, right side, top side. Man, I'm trying so hard to think about this. If there's a way I can do this for all of them at the same time. I feel like there is, and it's like some kind of it's just maybe it's just too complicated. But I'm basically just doing 4 loops for every single side. I mean, I could just have 4 positions and then loop through all of those. It ends up being the same amount of math, I guess, but whatever. Okay. Proj per side. I think this is right, though. So we basically find all the vectors. Oh, we need to normalize them still, but we haven't done that yet. Not that it's that big of a deal. We should end up shooting them a little bit faster than they ought to be shot. What's up, Marticus? How's it going, buddy? I could pre-normalize it and then do the gap movement on a normalized basis. That's actually probably a better solution. Good, good. Glad to hear it. I think it's a better approach. This is an unfortunate package because I'm changing a lot of code. Like I'm changing code, but I'm having to rebuild everything, even though like not a lot of code depends on this explicitly. But this is like a very fundamental package because it's the weapon stuff. So a lot of stuff depends on knowing about this type, but doesn't really care about the logic. This is where Go interfaces get a little bit in the way sometimes, I think. Or like I'm kind of forced into doing an interface. I'm forced into lumping this together or able to type switch somewhere, which is probably the right solution. But alas, here I am. Okay. Hopefully we get a square. Once we find this guy. I'm kind of surprised that I didn't have a function for this before. There it is. All right, we have a bug. There's something wrong with the layout. It's close. Oh, I think I know what the problem is. We're not making it to the edge because we're filling there, and then we're going up. That makes me wonder, could I just do this on a... Like, because the walk around the square is working. It's just that, yeah, I think we can fix this. I think we don't do this. I think we do, yeah, here's what we'll do. Okay. We're gonna lay out the corners as a part of the loops. And we'll just walk the square, I think. And then, we'll calculate a side length, and that's going to be the length of every side. This will be the starting point. So we'll normalize it. And then this one we need to do... Is it... I feel like this is a number. Like this is a... I feel like this number is 1 or something. If that length is 1, I don't know. I'm just going to calculate it. I don't care. if that length is 1, what is that? 1 squared plus 1 squared, square root of that, square root of 2. So these are all square root of 2, so it's 2 square root of 2 is the side length. Wait, but that needs to be normalized, doesn't it? Oh yeah, no, because we've already normalized it, yeah. With a I think that's right. But it's been a while since I've had to do geometry, so I don't know. 1 squared plus 1 squared. It just seems weird to write this out. Square root of 2. And then this has to be, because it's a 45 degree. So those are the same. So it's 2 times something. And those are square root of 2, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I mean, this like full rebuild eats my soul. This is what I was saying about when like functions depend on functions, not on the data. So the data, like everything's just rebuilding because I changed one really small function that didn't affect anything. Like all I did was change like a little bit of math in this function, but like so many things had to rebuild because this function was attached to this data. And that's why enumerations are better. Case in point. Bum, 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 bum. But I could just do a type switch, I guess. That's probably how I will solve this. But I think these should be normalized now. I think this is correctly normalized, so. If I could just find one of these guys. There we go. It looks offset a little bit. It seems like he's shooting it over there. Like the center point is wrong. Yeah, this wouldn't be set though. Normalized aim. Calculate aim, rotated. It's also weird 10 only gives me this many. Oh, because they're not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I guess I would do 4, wouldn't I? 4 here because we have the 4 corners. Because now we're not doing it this way, we're doing it the other way. I'm confused on why it's not, like why it's being shifted over. And I wonder if there's some extra add that I need to do. No, because then it wouldn't hit a square, would it? Like the layout is essentially this. It's like, I'm starting here. I'm gonna go the gap distance 1, 2, 3, and then I'm gonna change the corner and start going up. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna change the corner and go left. 1, 2, or that's bigger, but 2, 3, corner, 1, 2, 3. Pause? But pause should be their self pause. Unless this is getting set for some reason, which maybe it could be. No, this is just blank. So this should be not being run. One, two, three. Okay, clearly I've messed something up. I think the square calculation logic is right, but it seems like it's diagonal up here. Like I'm not starting far enough in that direction. Oh, this is predictable our side. This should be just +2. And then I think it's not starting far enough to the left. Like when I normalize this, it should be negative side length. Dude, Jeremy, thanks for stopping by, buddy. Have a good day. Because if I have a side length of this, I have 2 gaps, I divide it by 2. Oh, I see. I add and then but really I should be placing it, adding. I see now. Okay. I think this is right, but I think I also need to do one here. One for like the end. Like this would be for the corner. I think that makes sense. Because I think what was happening is I was moving and then I was placing it and then I was like moving to the first one, then placing it, then moving to the first one, placing it, which means I do hit the corner on this side, but I don't hit the corner on this left side. So then when it comes back around, it ends up like squaring here, not from where I started. So it's always off by 1. So then we place, add, place, add, place, add, and then we go to the next loop. But before we go to the next loop, we put the corner one in. But that does also mean that I think this one's extra. So we can remove that. Because once it finishes going all the way around, it's going to decide to place this very last one, but it doesn't need to, I think. I really should move all these interfaces to a type switch. I just don't like doing refactors in the middle of like feature additions because I end up like it ends up just like mixing things up. Like if I introduce a bug somewhere, it's kind of hard to know if it's a refactor bug or if it's because I've changed something in my feature addition. But the problem is once we add this new attack pattern, like I'm not going to feel motivated to refactor this anymore because I'll be done having to rebuild this library. Oh well. I'll put it in my refactor list. How about that? Where are you? Feedback? Playthrough notes? Ah. Refactor web package to use type switches instead of interfaces for attack patterns. Move data to a higher level package. All right. I kind of want to make trees not collidable, so you just run through them. Uh-oh. Dang, I thought we had it this time. Am I going the wrong direction now? Man, that's so strange. It could just be this. I might just calculate this for now because maybe my math was wrong. But regardless, I should be oh, this is too far. This is side length divided by 2. That's what it was. Because side length is the entire side length, not the okay. All right, hopefully this one's it. Let's go to Twilight Forest. We can start designing kind of his behavior. I think I'm gonna do the 3 slam attacks. And then we'll do could he jump at you again and then do his spiral attack? I might just do the spiral attack. 3 slam attacks, and at the end of the last one, the problem is it's hard to, I don't really want to put them too close together. Maybe we'll do a slam. So I'll have him jump to the character and then do the spiral attack. Maybe that'll feel good. That'll probably end up being his behavior though. I need to do some performance improvements for the generation. Now that there's so many decals getting added to the map, it ends up taking a little bit of time. like the map load time has increased from all these decorations that I've added. There's one. No, it's still offset. Oh, this is wrong. We want to. We want to use gaps per side, I think. So we're going to place one. We place one. Add a gap. We're only, because we're incrementing every time. Yeah, there should be gaps per side. Man, there's so many little things that I've run into on this. I mean, let's build it while I read through this again. Yeah, because we're going to spawn a projectile and then we're going to increment the X by the gap. And we only want to do that gaps per side times. And then we add the corner projectile. All right, I think this is correct. I don't need these, do I? Because I'm incrementing appending. Like these already have the corners built into them. So they're just it's just doubling up on the corners. We'll fix that. But I don't want to implement, I want to disrupt the build. All right, let's see how she does. Let's see how she does. Please work. Oh, there we go, finally. Right in the middle, right smack dab in the middle. That is perfect. Gotta soak it up a bit. Let's remove these. Now that we know we don't need them, and now that everything works, we can clean up our comments a little bit. Okay. We'll rebuild that, and then while it's rebuilding, we will finish up his whole behavior. So we'll do 3 slam attacks, and then we'll do the slam plus spiral attack. So this will be the slam phase. Do I do a cooldown? Yeah, I guess I'll do this. 3 spiral. We'll do some high level behaviors. I just want to copy one of these. Okay, so it'll pursue you at a speed of 40. And then we need a, I think I call it like move to target. Yeah. Let's grab one of these. I usually grab this one because it's alphabetically the closest. Okay, so we'll do a 500 millisecond. Oh, I need to isolate these because it has to jump slam as one kind of like action. So we'll do slam, wait, slam, wait. Oh, that's kind of hard to do 3 times though. How do I usually do this? I could add a counter to the state machine so it counts to a certain number and then it does it, or let's see what it looks like, I guess, and then we'll adjust it. But it's hard because I have to pair together the movement with the attack. And I kind of need them to trigger at this exact same time. Otherwise he ends up moving in between his attack. Like right now, I think the first one's gonna maybe work, and then yeah, then he switches to just pursuing you. Oh, ectoplasm. Move to target. But this isn't really happening, huh? We'll just do this. We'll do bucket move, bucket move. Okay. We'll do a 1 second cooldown. We'll make a wait state. We'll put this all into a chase state. So it'll chase you, and then it'll eventually transition. After time, we'll do like a 2 second timer and the wait. And then we'll do, what do we want to say? Maybe 3 seconds per. We'll do like 9 seconds. 9 seconds of that, and then you'll switch to the spiral state, I guess. This one needs a slam attached to it, like a prepare. Do I have a way to make the delay? Yeah, we can set the delay. Perfect. I want him to jump at you and then do it. So I'll have him jump for 500 milliseconds, which is usually how long the jump movement patterns last. 1, 2, 3. They did a fast one. It might have just reloaded there. Is it not moving to the next one? Spiral, default shoot. What am I missing? Oh, this is the, oh, it's going into this one, and then this one doesn't spiral. It's the wrong attack. So after one attack, we'll do this. I'm gonna make it a 5-second cooldown. Yeah, so the problem is it was going directly to the spiral. It was like going through this once, going to the spiral, and then just getting stuck here. And that should fix it. All right, that was the jump. We need him to not move here. I might actually, I'm just gonna remove his, The problem is I can't really move and attack, can I? I just think that the jump looks weird if he's not moving. Let's see. That's decent. So he kind of chases you. That might be a little bit long. We'll go to 4. I might reduce this count to 8. Oops. Though I do divide it by 4, so this is the same exact number, isn't it? Well, yeah, do I divide it by 4? Don't I? Unnamed square. Count. Count divided by 4 plus 2. Yeah, so 8 and 10 would be the same number. But then 4 is... It doesn't seem like there's a way... Like, this seems like 1, 2, 3, 4. Seems like way too many. 1, 2, 3. I don't know. I'll have to mess around with it, I think. This is a decent behavior, though. Bum, 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 bum. He seems to be waiting for a range check. Yeah, we want to remove this. Otherwise he'll just get stuck. Okay. Let's go to our checklist. All right, we added the dark bandits. I might do a dark archer, I don't know. But I think, honestly, I feel like that one has enough. The one thing about the ghosts is they're pretty, like, uninspiring. They're, like, just copy pastes of the same sprite with different colors, which I don't really like that much, but I don't know. Anyways. All right, I need to go eat some food now. It was a good morning though, got a lot done. Hope you guys had a good time, but that will be the end of the stream for today. But thank you all for stopping by, and I hope I see you next time. See ya.